I inked around the edges of my box on the lid, but I've since changed my template so that the entire lid will be covered, so there's no need to ink the edges after all. Although the bottom edge I would ink because that's going to be visible unless you put some trim on there to hide it. So I'm ready to start trimming my templates. This is what the templates look like. There's two files. One is for the roof and the other ones are for the front and back of the box, and then I've got the sides, and this is just a little piece that you can use to make the canopy. And I also have an extra page that I included, and this is for the window sections of the box where there's glass, like for example in the door. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to print this on photo paper so that it has a bit of a glossy look to it. So you can either just use these templates and then they're ready to attach to the box, and your box will be done, or you can print these templates out and then just superimpose these over the window areas if you want something that looks a little bit glossy. So I'm going to cut all around my templates, and I'll show you how to do the roof template. So I'm going to start by trimming around the outside edges. Ooh, my blade needs to be changed. I printed on a white cardstock. You can also just print on regular paper if you prefer. I like the sturdiness of the cardstock. Although this cardstock, it does tend to form these little frayed edges, so I'm going to go over with scissors after. But for now, I'm just going to leave that like that. I'm going to cut out these little squares. Now I have the template. Here's, say that's the back of the box and this is the front. These little flaps here will fold under. So when I cut my template, I'm going to cut from the front all the way up to the purple section of the roof, because that's going to fold under like that. And then I just trim off the white like that. So I do the same thing on this side. Like that. And then on the back. So I'm going to cut my other pieces off camera, and then I'm going to come back and attach them to the box. I've cut out all of my pieces, and I decided that I want to make this a little bit dimensional. So I also cut some leftover pieces of chipboard, and I'm going to attach these behind, and that way when I attach my my elements to the front of the box, it'll have a little bit of a dimension look where it pops out. Or you can also just attach it directly like that, or just use the original image like I mentioned before. So I'm going to start with this one. Put that on the back. like so. And you can also ink around the edges if you like. So that's just an idea of how you can customize this a bit. I'm going to do the same thing for all of the other pieces that have glass. So now I'm going to attach my pieces to my recipe box. And this is going to go like that. Now this doesn't go all the way up, and that's intentional because I don't want the paper to lift. If this is right up against the edge, when I put the cover down, there's a chance that it might lift the paper. So by having that little border exposed, it's going to help with that. So I'm going to place that just like that. And I'm just using a tacky glue. My two-sided tape doesn't adhere very well to this chipboard, so I figure I'll just use some glue instead. And I'm just focusing around the edges. I don't need to put a whole lot in the middle. So I'm going to center this left to right and then top to bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other pieces, and then we're going to work on the roof. So let's work on the roof. I'm going to start by folding along the four sides, and because depending on how you constructed the box, it should match up pretty well, but just in case, it's a good idea to just test it by place the template over the box cover like that, and just fold down where it should fold like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and fold right along that purple line. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the front and the back. It's just slightly over the edge of the purple. And I'm also going to fold up these tabs. close up, like that. Now these tabs will go towards the front and the back, like that. And then these, the front of and the back of the roof will cover them. So I can just go ahead and start applying some glue on my sides and along the tabs. And now I'll do the other end. And you can put a little bit of glue right in the middle if you like. I'm going to embellish my top. So I think I will put a little bit of glue just to help hold in place. Fold this up. And then I'm going to put some glue along the edges of my front and back. And here, even if it's not exactly even, I'm going to embellish that anyways. So I'm going to cover it up, maybe with some lace or acrylic pearls or something like that. And then finally, I do the last side. we go. I'm going to let this dry. And next I'm going to work on the canopy. So here's the little canopy piece that I'm going to use, and you can also use just a piece of cardstock, something different if you like. You can vary the length. This one measures, I think, about 4.5 inches, and so I'm going to use that. And also I have these two little tags. Again, you can use either one or make your own tag, or if you even want to have one. One says Bakeshop and the other one says recipes, and I think I'll just use the little Bakeshop tag. I'm going to attach that there, and my canopy is going to go just below it. Now what you can do here is punch a decorative border, or punch a border, which is probably what I'm going to do, a decorative border on a piece of cardstock, and then I can attach it to the bottom edge of my canopy. But anyways, to start this, I'm going to use my scoreboard, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch down the length, and then again at 1 inch. And then I can fold along my score marks like that. And this first 1/2 inch will be glued to the lid like that, and I'm going to center left to right. And then that second 1/2 inch forms the little lip of the roof of the canopy. So that's going to go on like that, and I'm going to put my little sign just above there. So I'm going to start by attaching this little canopy. If you're making your own from a piece of cardstock, you don't want to have it so long that it's going to cover the images. But there seems to be quite a bit of room here that I could have made it even longer. But that's good. I'm going to attach a little edge here. So I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock. I think I'll embellish it before I go ahead and attach it. I'll use this pink. Yeah, that'll go nice. And I'm just going to punch a border on there. So I'm going to have these little scallops. Yeah, and that just fits on there perfectly. And again, I can make this whatever width I want, so I could have always adjusted it to suit my punch. But this is going to work. And I think I'll just trim a little bit off of here. Then I'm going to attach that to my edge. I didn't cut that very straight. And I might even put a little bit of bling along here, but I'll do that later. So for now, I'm going to glue this onto my lid. And now I'm going to eyeball and just center that left to right, and I'm going to line it up with the edge of my my paper. There's my canopy. I'm going to let this dry, and in the meantime I'm going to attach my Bakeshop sign. Now again, yeah, I think I'll add some cardstock under that so it stands out, or some chipboard. And let that dry. So there we go. I've finished with the templates. Now for the rest of the project, you can either continue embellishing with your own items that you have on hand. I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a little bit of bling here and add some flowers to my roof. The rest I'm pretty much going to leave as is. I might put a little border of trim around the edge of the lid, but I'm going to be careful because you don't want this to interfere, anything to interfere when you're putting the lid on. So if I put my trim on, it's going to be just over the my template paper there, and I'm going to leave this edge free. And if you prefer, you can just leave it as is. So I'm going to finish embellishing, and then I'll show you the final product. So here's my finished recipe box, all embellished. I put a little bit of those acrylic crystals on the front of the canopy, and I had a little crystal heart, so I attached that on there. I think it looks cute. And then I put some trim all around the edge of the box, of the lid. And on the top I had a little lace flower that I made, and I just topped it off with one of those little cabbage roses or ribbon roses, and I attached a little butterfly on there. So I think this looks really cute, and the embellishments aren't too bulky, so it's still easy to open and close the box. Another thing you can do is put some paper on the inside if you want to line the bottom, and then you can put your recipe cards and make some dividers in there for the different categories. And also you can use this box for other purposes too, knick-knack boxes or a sewing box or whatnot. Anyways, I thought this would be a cute little handmade recipe box, and I wanted to share it with you. And if you make this box, I would love to see pictures of your completed project and how you decided to embellish it. So have a nice day and happy scrapping. Bye.